Vinny Venom, and this is Getting Into the Business, the music business. That is episode 18. I'm Vinny Venom, your host, music producer, remixer, songwriter, record label owner, apparel owner, entrepreneur, public figure. Let me start off by saying to everyone, thank you for all the love and the support I've been getting from so many people contacting me, not just about the music, but also the show and the information that I've been giving you about this show. A lot of information that a lot of you guys were not understanding or were not aware of information that was needed to be known. And me giving you this information makes me feel good. It's the reason why I actually did this show. And a lot of people have been contacting me and giving me great feedback and saying, hey, man, I love your show. I love the way you tell things and how you put things together for so many people and explain it to them in such an easy way that it makes it real easy for them to understand, including myself. I was talking about on the prior email, and people have been contacting me about it, and I'm happy that I actually did this video and I touched on this subject of copyrights and how important they are. And people only concentrate on one form where they don't know how important the other form is, and explaining to them the difference of forms. The SR is just a recording of it, and then the PA form is the one that has all the melodies, the arrangement, the music, the vocals, if you put vocals to it or whatever you write to it and whatnot. So you have to understand that if you don't create one form, you're not covered for certain things that you might need to be covered at, and people could still use it and not get in trouble for it. So always look into that and always find out that you're keeping in touch and you're corresponding with each other with the copyright forms, and listen to the emails that they sent you and how they followed certain things, because there was things that are called brackets. And if you don't send those brackets with the information that you're applying about, they will not get it. And then if they don't get it for a certain amount of time, they were understanding that they're not going to get it, and then they'll not register your work. So always corresponded. If they don't contact you in a certain amount of time, contact them and say, hey, so and so, whatever division it is, and say, well, I sent an information to you. I haven't heard back from you. I want, an update on what's going on with my filing and my registration for my production and my forms, what's going on, and go further with them and explain to them that you did contact them and they didn't reply back to you. They'll tell you stuff like, I found out, look in the junk mail, because certain things definitely get misplaced. They get, put somewhere else by accident because, it's the internet. But if you do look at your junk mail and you don't get nothing in your spam, then contact them and say, listen, I didn't get nothing from there either. I'm just corresponding with you. Just want an update on what's going on. You always want to be informed, especially stuff with registering copyrights of your material, that making sure that everything is taken care of in the right, proper order, and you're getting your certificates. And when you're copying the registration, making sure that it's getting registering for that year and the date that you set the composition together. So, talking about people contacting me, I listen to everything. Like I said, I always tell you guys and girls, if you have music, and send it to me either at vinnyvenom@gmail or DM me on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook, and send me your stuff. I won't be able to play it, of course, but I'll definitely bring it up. And if you look at my artwork that I have now, I have a couple of sections there showing you covers of music that I'm going to be talking about right now. I got to know a lot of people, and they started becoming fans of me and my music and just me in general. And I'm happy that I'm got support and love from so many amazing people, not only here but overseas also. And so a good friend of mine that was a fan and is a friend of mine, he's a brother of mine, is also a producer, a DJ. And he contacted me and talked about my new track, Vinny Venom, the M Code 2022. He said, I'm going to put it on my Spotify playlist. I'm just letting you know. And I said, oh, thank you. I didn't ask him to do it. He's just doing it because he likes my music. And I like his music. So he's like, I always want to keep informed of what people are doing. And he sent me a track and I really, really liked it. And it was an amazing song. And people are like, oh, you listen to country? I listen to everything. If it sounds good, I'm definitely going to listen to it. I'm definitely going to mention it on my show. And the song that he brought me was yesterday, was Monday, was Destination Tennessee, and it's performed by Charlie Joseph, and it's an amazing track. Definitely check it out. I'll leave the links in my description. And he has many other songs like My Sweet Dreams, James Verrone, Jimmy V, that's who I'm talking about, featuring Jackie Baccioni. I think I'm saying it right. I'll put the name down with the link and everything on the bottom of my description. And there's another one called Little Baristria, James Verrone, Jimmy V, featuring Johan LaPera. Awesome track also. Then there's James Verrone, Jimmy V, as I know him. To Love You So, original club mix featuring Kathleen Hill. And then there's a track that I was talking about, Destination Tennessee, performed by Charlie Joseph. And James Verrone is, I believe, his Spotify playlist, and I'll put the playlist on the bottom in the description, is Energized. It's Jimmy V's Productions. Hit him up. He's always listening, wants to listen to good music. Tell him you're a producer, a remixer. This is my track. Say, hey, I was listening to Vinny Venom's show. He brought up your music, and he told me about you listen to music and you like to hear new artists and whatnot. This is my name, so and so, and shoot him the music and see what if he likes it and whatnot. And you guys, get a relationship from there. It's a great thing. So thank you, Jimmy V, and thank you everyone like Jimmy V for showing me love and support. Now everybody explain to you how important. I always tell people, if you like what I'm doing, I'm giving you information and it's helping you, then please find the time to definitely share, subscribe, like, and definitely comment. I definitely would like to hear your comments and what you're replying back to me and anything that you need to know. Definitely bring it up to me. If you don't want to bring it up to me, hit me up, DM me, and I will listen to what you have to say. If there's something that you want something explained or you want something to look into, I will definitely do that. And if I can get you the information, I would definitely will. If I can't get you information, I'll find out someone that can get me the information and get it to you, and figuring out how we can go about fixing the situation that you're in and get you that information that was going to help you go further, instead of holding you back on what you're trying to do. So I've been getting a lot of people contacting me and saying some things like to me, um, how do I go about doing what you do? Then, I see you, I follow you, I watch what you post, and it seems like a lot of work. Everything in life is work. You got to do something. If you don't do something, things don't happen. You know what I'm saying? It's normal. If you don't do something, it's not going to happen. Don't expect to get a paycheck if you're not going to go to work. Okay. You have to do something. I'm actually doing some other stuff, and I'll bring that up too. NFTs. A lot of you guys and girls know that I do graphics and animation, especially animation I'm doing for this show right now. The artwork that I have for here, I created it. I'm gonna also put together. Actually right now in the process of figuring out what I have to get, the tools to get things going on a different level. I have the green screen in the back, the lighting and all that stuff, and all the audio and everything else. Because I've been getting a lot of people that I know that want me to interview them and say, "Hey, man, I would definitely love to be a part of your show. Are you going to be doing interviews? Are you going to be doing, any, live or, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be doing interviews. That's part of my thing that I wanted to do. I'm just trying to figure out how to do stuff, especially what was going on with COVID and everything else. It's pretty difficult. So I'm going to do something, because when I do something, I always get into it, deep into it. I don't, just casually get into it. I'm definitely going to go into it, go in, or I don't go in at all. So I'm trying to figure out the best way of doing that. I know a lot of people have been hitting me up and asking me a pointers on how to, I create sound because I'm a sound designer guy. A lot of stuff with my music, I create my own sounds and stuff. So I'm going to actually be doing a separate channel for separate things. One will probably be about sound design and um, interviewing and product uh, interviewing products and stuff like that, like software for music and plugins and so and so. I'm just working out, right now the ins and the outs and what I need to do and how I need to go about doing it. So once I figure that out, then I will go about doing that. So just time right now, I'm trying to figure everything out and arrange everything and try to know what I need to get. So I always tell people, it's always good to sit down and start putting things in order. Like I'll give you a perfect example. Um, I put all my copyright forms in a book and with a binder and with has, covers on there to protect them, of course, sleeves. So if I ever need them, and each copyright that I have, each form, because I do a PA form, and if one of the tracks are a little bit different, I'll give you a perfect example. The My Pussycat track, even though it's the same track, there's different versions of them. So you have to copyright each and every version of the track, especially if they're different. Don't just do one version because you're copywriting that version, even though you're putting out other versions that sound separate. So you have to also understand that there's certain ways to fill out the copyright form. If you do a standard one, that's only one song that you could put on. But if you do an unpublished group, I believe, but always call the copyright office or contact them. It's 10 songs at a time that you could put on that part of the application. You could do a standard one or you could do a non-published group that you could put, and then you just put in every individual songs, you put one, then two, and the name of it, and vice versa, and explaining to them. Then if you want to be on the safe side, shoot them an email, even though after you register it, say, listen, these are separate, same song, same ideal song, but different versions and different mixes that sound totally different than each other. So I just want to let you know that, the first one sounds this way and the second one this way. I copyrighted all of them to make sure that they're all going to be copyrighted. So I'm covered on that end, on the PA and the SA form on that end. And just correspond with each other and the people in the copyright information office and find out that you're both on the same page and everything is being taken care of the right way. Better safe than sorry. That's what I always say. Because that's very important. A lot of things, especially nowadays, you're posting stuff on here on YouTube. And, there's also, copy infringement. There's a lot of things that you have to look into and find out before you post something and letting them aware and letting them know, especially now when you post stuff on YouTube. There's a checkoff list that it checks to see if it recognizes anything that is licensed to someone else or someone else owns the copyright, even though you're putting it out. They want to make sure that you are the sole owner of that work. If not, it goes to that sole owner of that work. And all the revenue is not going to you, it's going to that other person. And that person is getting monetized for you using their music or their video or whatever and then what you can do, uh you know if you are 100% sure that it's your work, then you contact that and you could dispute it, but you have to be 200% correct and right that it is your work and you didn't use any other stuff that might set something else off, because you have to make sure that if you're leasing something, you paid for that license. Was that license able to be used as it is? Could you add it to your own work and sample it? There's a lot of things you have to relate to. And if you don't know that information, try to contact a lawyer online. If you can't afford one, try to get one pro bono. Try to get one on the internet. Try to hit one up on Facebook and whatever. There's a lot of them doing that pro bono work and trying to help artists and whatnot, trying to get them buy because they know they're hard, with money and cash. And, not everybody has money to pay for an entertainment lawyer. And there's some of them that are supplying their expertise on that end, just to give people the options to do that. So contact them and find out from that if that could be part of this, way you should go with it. So that's why I always like when I know I'm 100% that I created the track and whatnot. I'll put down in the description that the song is copyrighted. It has a PA form and SR form. All properties are owned to me. I also have myself licensed to um, companies that are non-exclusive. That means I could put it on many other platforms related to what they're doing. There's exclusive. That means you can only deal with them. And then there's non-exclusive that you could shop your work around to other platforms like them that are doing non-exclusive deals. So what you have to find out is that if you do that, there's options. You could put sampling, that you're giving them the option to sample it. I don't put sampling, I put no sampling. I only put for commercial use. They could use it as a bedding. They could use it as, they want to put it on their video. They want to use it as a background music or whatever. So they're paying the company. The company is licensing them. I'm getting paid for that. I'm getting my cut. So make sure on that end that that's also taken care of. Um, then there's other ways, there's other things that, that you could look into, especially if you are doing other music. You know, a lot of these people, all they worry about is getting paid, and they're getting their percentage and they're getting their rights, and you're not taking it for them for for your own use. And that's, of course, of not. If you're doing something, make sure if the other person is the one involved in it, you're just using it for that. You know, um, try to reach out to the person and say, hey, what do I need to do? I didn't know who I needed to contact. I don't know where I need to go, what channels I needed to go before. I'm new to this. Please, I'll give you your whatever you're entitled to. Try to discuss things to people, but always look into things before you do something. I always look into things before you do something and discuss it with other people that are knowledgeable of that information that's going to help you instead of hurt you. I won't do something if I'm not 100%. I'll give you a perfect example. I was getting into NFTs and I didn't know anything about NFTs. So we have the ability nowadays that we have this amazing option that we can go on the internet, type in something, and you have thousands or even millions of people might be discussing the same thing that you're trying to find out. And if you find the right person that gets you off that obstacle and gets you going and moving to the right direction where you need to go, then you, like I do, I definitely subscribe to their channel. I definitely I definitely comment. I also tell them and say, hey, man, you were very helpful. Thank you. I'm subscribing to your channel. Just want to let you know. You explained things to me in such a way that I got it right away, and it helped me because I wasn't getting it. So definitely going to subscribe to your channel. Definitely going to like your shows. Definitely going to be a loyal fan on your channel, and definitely check out more information because I got so much information from you from the get go. It doesn't have to be my channel, it could be anyone's channel. If somebody's giving you information to make you move forward, then it's a good thing to show love and support by sharing, of course, liking, subscribing, and commenting, and letting other people know that maybe you're being in that same situation. Say, hey, this guy helped me. Definitely look him up on YouTube and see what he can do for you because he definitely helped me or she definitely helped me or vice versa. So the information is, it's all about getting the proper information and getting the proper um, teachings and finding out stuff. Not everyone is going to know everything right off the bat. That doesn't happen all the time. It takes a lot of mistakes. But if you're not 100% sure about something, I always say follow follow the right way, follow the path of the right way that's going to get you going there because you don't want to make mistakes and then that's going to hold you back. And who knows, maybe you can't reverse those things and then you're stuck in that situation that you're not wanting to be in that situation. I started doing this because I started hearing, and I'm still hearing to this day, a lot of people don't know a lot of history or information about, a lot of people like, oh, I read this book, I read that book, somebody told me this, told me that. Lo- Things change constantly. Terms and policies are always changing every year, every month, every day. Especially with the copyright office, it was at $65. Now it's $85. Certain things were not able to be done anymore. Same thing with TuneCore. They were using brackets where you put edit when they weren't using that before. And if you don't do it the proper way, they can reject your work. And until you correct it, they won't deal with you. So there's a lot of things that you have to follow the rules. And if you don't follow the rules, you're stuck. And why would you want to be stuck when you don't need to be stuck? That's how I see it. But a lot of people, they'll take a chance. So now what I do, I always tell people, make sure and make yourself some notes. Write down things that you believe that you're going to need to know, and put them down so you have them. So now you could always circle back and know, okay, well, last time, but always contact them just to make sure, because let's say time passed by, you don't know if the policy and terms changed, and you want to know if those policies and terms that you did before are still applying to this moment that you're filling out a form or putting something out and distributing music to, TuneCore, DistroKid, or United, or whatever you're doing, whatever distributor you're using. Same thing with BMI or ASCAP or SECA. Find out, percentage if you made a mistake, and you say, hey, I didn't know. I made a mistake. Please don't hold, I got to fix something, or you guys got to fix it. It's got to be fixed. I left something out, or something's not right. I want to make sure everything's correct. A lot of people didn't know that if you're going to put stuff out, there's companies like Mediabase and SoundScan that you have to also register to, because if the music doesn't gets played, you want it to be registered in the charts and the listings of the playlist and whatnot. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people that get into the music industry that don't know, have no idea the first move or the first thing to do. They just think, okay, I just put a song out, TuneCore, and I don't have to do anything else. Or what about the copyright? What about registering it if you're have administrator for publishing and writing, your royalties and whatnot? There's a lot of things that people, it's not their fault because they don't know, and they always take the word of someone else. Don't take the word of someone else. Always look into something. That's why I've been getting so many people contacting me and saying, hey, what do I need to do? I didn't know about a PA form. I didn't know about an SR form. Thank you for that information you gave me, Vin. It really helped me. Now I know what to do. I'm really happy that somebody brought me into your channel, because I learned so much from it, and it gave me so much information that I needed to know, and I didn't know about it. And you definitely acknowledged me into that realm, and I'm really happy that I was able to do that. You know, so I'm actually going to be doing different things and talking about different things, because I want to do interviews with a lot of people. I have friends that are actors. I have friends that are producers, remixers. I have friends that are writers. I have friends that are artists. So I want to have a perspective, and me talking about them and how they found the way to what they're doing and what they're loving now, to this moment of what they're doing, to this day, to the present. There's some people that I actually talk to people, and this is the truth. They say, you find something that you're really good at and you really enjoy, love doing it. It is not work to anyone. It's just enjoying what you're doing and getting so much out of it every single day, and showing people how much you love what you're doing, and embracing it, and giving the understanding to other people what they're doing, how great it is, and maybe they might like it, and maybe they might want to be doing it for the rest of their lives, you know. And it's true, because, if you go somewhere, if you go to a job and you really are not enjoying what you're doing, maybe the boss is not treating you well, maybe there's certain people there that are not, treating you well, um, in life, we all have to be happy. You know what I'm saying? If you're not happy in a situation, you have the option to remove you from that information, from that situation. I'm sorry, information, that situation. Uh, I get so many people say to me, "Hey, man, I don't really like my job. My boss takes me for granted. I really don't appreciate certain things. I feel that I'm left behind. No one's trying to make me excel. I want to go further, and I don't see myself growing in this company. I don't see myself um, getting to the point where I need to be. It's coming to a point where I'm at a job now that I really not appreciating. It feels like I'm not appreciated and I'm not getting nothing out of it. It's just something that I come in and I'm just collecting a paycheck. And it's honestly, sometimes I really don't want to be there. I get so many people telling me that, and I always explain to them it's very simple. Everything in life is choice. You choose to be there, that's your choice. If you choose not to be there, that's also your choice. I always tell people always look into other things, try to start something on your own and see where it goes from there. I actually had people come to me and say, "Hey, you have any advice?" I'm like, "What are you good at? What do you do? What makes you happy?" And a lot of people told me so many amazing things, and so many people told me some crazy things, but it made them happy. Nothing legal, nothing illegal. I mean, but just I like growing this. I like doing that. I like, experimenting. I like, doing chemistry. I'm like, are you good at it? Because if you're mixing certain things and certain chemicals, they react or, they interact with each other. So, that's something that you have to know. You have to, you could hurt yourself or you could, burn down your house or, things like that. I remember when I went to school years ago and I took chemistry. Okay. I love science. I still do to this day. Um, and there was certain chemicals that, my teacher or professor would say you can't mix these together because if you do, they could become toxic or you could burn yourself. There's certain things you can't excel in putting them together. So that everything is moderation. You have to know exactly what to mix, what not to mix, what things correspond with each other. Certain things don't correspond with each other. Certain things make a different reaction, you know? So that's why I always told that person, I'm like, you really know what you're doing, then do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, it all comes down to us being happy at what we do and what we continue to do every single day. And that doesn't have to be just work, it could just be a marriage, it could be a relationship. If you find yourself in a situation, it could be a marriage, it doesn't have to be work, doesn't have to be anything. It could be anything that doesn't make you happy. If you work with someone at one point in your life and you don't feel the same way for that person, things changed. You've seen the direction things were going with each other before, and now they're in a total different direction. And you don't see yourself being happy. You don't see yourself being content. Do what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting somebody physically or mentally, then go by what you believe is going to make you happy. I meet so many people and I have so many people hit me up on the internet and ask me so many questions. It's like they think I am I'm their guru and I'm happy that they feel that way. Um, and I try to answer questions the best way as possible. And I always tell people, how much information do you want to give me? And some of them give me a lot of information, stuff that I really didn't want to know, but they'll still give it to me because they think I can answer and they like what I'm saying and they like what I'm talking about. So they believe that any information that I'm going to give them is going to be good information. And I've heard some crazy stories. I've heard some insane stuff, and stuff that actually I could don't want to hear it, but they'll tell me anyway. And I'm like, really? Okay. And I'm like, well, you need to do this. You need to figure out, this is not working. Then you need to figure out a way that things are gonna work out for you. Don't always, what's the word I always think? Um, Settle. Okay. Don't settle for someone else making that person happy and you being miserable. That doesn't make sense. Everything in life is the pursuit of happiness. You have to be happy at what you're doing. Okay. Um, I heard someone told me a story, and I'm going to bring it up to you. Um, Said to me, "Hey, I don't really care about my husband anymore. I don't really love him anymore. Honestly, I don't see anything that makes me feel anything about him anymore. But I've gone to work and and I take usually I'm going to explain something to you. A lot of people in Staten Island, a lot of them don't drive. They take the express bus to work because it's easier for them. New York transportation is ridiculous. Parking is out of control, expensive. So a lot of people commute by ferry or train or bus. A lot of people from different places, Staten Island, Jersey, going into the city, and things happen. You end up sitting next to somebody and someone mentions something, and it's very simple. It could be something so innocent. You could be reading a book and somebody feels and sees you appealing to them, and will say something like, "Hey, what are you reading? What is that? That sounds like, oh, that's what is that about? Is it a good book?" And then you turn around, you give him a glance, and he's cute or she's cute, and you say to yourself, "Oh, wow, maybe I should talk to him." And then you start talking, and the person will say, "Hey, how about a cup of coffee? We could talk about that book a little bit more. I've been reading a book. Have you ever read this book?" And see that when the communication, you start seeing that you guys have a lot more in common than you thought of. And this is how a lot of things happen because I actually had a friend of mine told me this story, and I said, "Okay." And she got into it with me, and and I said, "Okay, so where is it? Where did it lead to now?" And they're like, "Well, I'm not with my husband anymore. I'm with this guy. I'm happy. We're traveling. We're doing this. We're doing that. I see the kids being more happy now because we didn't want to be with each other. We're getting to spend time with each other. The kids spend 1 week with him and the rest with me, and we're happy doing. I think he found somebody too, so he's happy. So things worked out for the best." I said, as long as everything worked out for the best, that's the end game right there. So, all right, guys, I appreciate all the love and the support I've been getting from you guys. Thank you for supporting me and my music. A lot of people have been hitting me up and saying they've been enjoying my music. A lot more DJs. It's amazing when you start hearing people hitting me up and saying, like, my friend hit me up. He's like, "Yo, they were playing your music at HQ and AC. I was hearing your stuff at the Hard Rock. I was hearing your stuff at Wet Republic. Then you finally got these DJs, listening to your stuff." I give you that, man. That's not easy to do, and you accomplish that. And if I could accomplish it, you could accomplish it also. Anything in life is gainable if you want to gain it. Okay. That's the main objective. You have to want it more than anything else in life. That's anything. If you want something bad enough in life, you can get it as long as you follow the rules, and especially if it's not going to hurt somebody physically or mentally. So if you want something bad enough, it could be a relationship, it could be a marriage, it could be material things. If you want it bad enough, you can get it, basically. So that's what I can give you. And it all comes down to you at the end of the day. Like I said, everything in life is choice. Choose what you choose. You choose the right way, you win. You choose the wrong way, you lose. Choose as you know what they say. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I will see you on the next episode. I will definitely put the description on Jimmy V's information in my description. Definitely show him love. Tell him I sent you, and be well. I'll talk to you next time.
Beat Cutters Music.
Breaking down cause my jealousy gets the best of me. If this keeps I'll speak only